All right, very similar to last time. We are going to graph this linear function and we're going to identify the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to draw a little t-table here and I'll have my x's and y's. All right, and what I'm going to do is just pick some values for x here. I'm going to choose, I usually start off with 0. I'm going to do 0, 3, 6, and I'll go backwards as well. I'll do 1 negative. All right, so the reason that I was going by 3s this time is because I was thinking about the numbers that I plug in. So these numbers that I put in here for x, I need them to be divisible by 3 because I'm going to be doing 1/3 of that number. So because my denominator was 3, I chose like multiples of 3. Right? I want these numbers, I want these answers to come out as nice numbers. And so that's why I picked numbers that were divisible by 3. If I plug in 0 for x, all right, 1/3 times 0 is 0, and then 0 plus 1. You get 1 back. If I plug in 3 for x, 1/3 of 3 is 1 whole, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. All right, it's like 1/3 times 3. That's the same as dividing by 3. So I'm just doing, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then plus 1. For 6, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. So it looks like I could predict what this next one's going to be just based on what my y values are here. It looks like it's going to be 0, right? If you do -3 here, 1/3 of -3 is going to be -1, and then -1 plus 1 gives you 0. All right. So you really only need a couple of points in order to draw a graph, like literally any 2 points that you can figure out. If you figure out 2 points, that's enough to draw a line. Like all the other ones are going to have to be along it. Just having several points here makes your line a little bit well defined. All right. So I got my points. Let me go ahead and draw my coordinate grid and my little tick marks. If you have graph paper, it sure is a lot easier, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm going out to 6 on this one. And I only have to go up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's do 3, 2 first. So remember, if 3, 2 is a solution, that means that the ordered pair 3, 2 is going to be a point on this line. So I'll go over 3 and up 2. All right, I'll go over 6 and up 3. 6, 3 is on there as well. 6 is right here, and then 3 up. Cool. 0, 1 would be 0 to the left and right, and then up 1. Okay, and then I need to do -3, 0 as well. So I'm going to have to go backwards here. 1, 2, 3. That's -3, 0 right there. There we go. All my points, they lie along a straight line. Try to graph it. Ooh, that was okay. I got off kilter a little bit. Yeah. All right, so I got it graphed. The y-intercept. The y-intercept is right there where it crosses, and that is +1. The x-intercept looks like it was -3. We can kind of tell that from our table as well, right? The slope. So on the slope, remember that's just a ratio to describe how tilted the line is. This line is not very tilted compared to our last one, and so it's going to have a smaller slope. So to figure out the slope, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look from point to point here, and I'm going to count how many it's going up, compared to how many it's going over. So for every one that I go up, I have to go over 1, 2, 3. Up 1, and I have to count over 3 spaces there. All right? And from this one to that one, it's the same thing. If I go up 1, I got to go over 3 to continue to be on my line. So slope, which is how much you rise compared to how much you have to go over, is 1/3. Right? It's how the y changes with respect to x. Right? As y goes up by 1, these x values are going up by 3. From 2 to 3, we're going up by 1. 3 to 6, we're going up by 3. That's the relationship there. Now, I mentioned at the end of that last video that you can tell algebraically what the slope and the y-intercept are. So the slope is just that number that's attached to the x right there, 1/3, and the y-intercept is just that 1 there. That's because the line that we graphed here was in y equal mx plus b form. So m is just some letter that they've assigned to be the slope, and b is just some letter that they've assigned to be the y-intercept. So anytime that you're given a line or a linear equation that's in this form, you can bank on it. You can count that whatever number is attached to the x, that's going to be your slope. And then the number that comes right after it, whether it's a plus or a minus, that's going to represent your y-intercept. Right? I think it's good.